Genoa city erupts, secrets, scandals and dangerous downfalls. Drama reaches new heights on The Young and the Restless from April 6 to 17, 2026. Nick Newman faces a shocking and potentially dangerous fall, while Devon Winter's anger spirals out of control amid rising family tensions. Lily Winters is blindsided by a major secret, and Holden Novak opens up to Claire Newman, setting off emotional ripple effects. Meanwhile, Abby Newman Abbott and Devon struggle with the fallout of Mariah Copeland's fate, as her isolation threatens her future with Tessa Porter, leaving Daniel Romalotti Jr. closer than ever. Phyllis Summers stirs controversy with a bold move involving Kane Ashby and faces backlash for criticizing Lily. Adding to the chaos, Malcolm Winter's life-threatening diagnosis sends shockwaves through Genoa City. Welcome to A Mysterious Time TV, where the drama unfolds and the stories captivate. Join us as we explore the fascinating world of Young and the Restless, uncovering untold stories and hidden truths behind the headlines. Young and the Restless spoilers, April 6 to 17, 2026. Nick faces a dangerous downfall as Devon's anger explodes. The next 2 weeks in Genoa City promise intense drama, emotional confrontations, and shocking twists. From April 6 through April 17, 2026, tensions rise across multiple storylines, with Nick Newman heading towards serious trouble and Devon Hamilton Winters struggling to control his fury. Monday, April 6, Devon's anger boils over. The week begins with Devon venting his frustration to Lily Winters about Mariah Copeland's situation. He's outraged that Mariah isn't facing harsher consequences for kidnapping his son, Dominic Chancellor. While Lily believes Mariah receiving psychiatric care is the right step, Devon strongly disagrees. He fears Mariah could eventually be released and pose a continued threat to Dominic. Elsewhere, Abby Newman discusses the situation with Daniel Romalotti, wondering what the future holds for him and Tessa Porter once Mariah returns. Abby admits she's upset that Mariah seems to have avoided real punishment and worries that her obsession with Dominic could resurface. Daniel, however, holds on to hope that Mariah might one day be forgiven. Devon later unleashes his anger over the legal system, blasting both the district attorney and the judge responsible for Mariah's plea deal. He's determined to hold them accountable. Jack and Diane at a breaking point. Jack Abbott attempts to reconcile with Diane Jenkins, asking for a chance to earn back her trust. However, Diane is unconvinced. When Jack suggests that Victor Newman wins if they don't reunite, Diane becomes even more upset, believing Jack is more focused on revenge than repairing their relationship. She also can't get past the image of Jack with Patty Williams. After being excluded from dinner, Jack leaves. During the meal, Kyle Abbott reassures Diane that her job at Jabot isn't dependent on her relationship with Jack. Still, Diane remains emotional. Later, Jack confesses to Tracy Abbott about his mistake with Patty, but Tracy insists Victor is to blame for orchestrating the chaos on the yacht. She remains hopeful that Jack and Diane can still fix things, though Jack is starting to lose faith. Kane's schemes and Lily's confession. Kane Ashby pushes Holden Novak to gather information from Claire Grace Newman that could be used against Victor. However, Holden refuses to take advantage of his connection with Claire, especially since he wants to rekindle their romance. Kane backs off for now. Meanwhile, Lily tries to talk to Kane, but he gives her the cold shoulder. In a shocking moment, Lily confesses to Holden that her kidnapping was staged, leaving him stunned. Tuesday, April 7th, Malcolm returns with big news. Malcolm Winters makes his return to Genoa City, bringing a secret that could shake things up. Lily is thrilled to see her father when he arrives at the GCAC. Stephanie Simmons also reappears, adding another layer to the unfolding drama. Malcolm's mysterious information is expected to have lasting consequences, even after he leaves town for a short time. However, his story isn't over. He's set to return again during May sweeps. Wednesday, April 8th, emotional reunions and temptation. Malcolm and Stephanie share emotional moments at Crimson Lights as they reflect on their complicated past. Their deep history resurfaces, reminding everyone of their once passionate relationship. At the same time, Lily is entrusted with a significant secret, likely tied to Malcolm's return. Meanwhile, Phyllis Summers spends time with Kane at the GCAC, where their interaction quickly turns flirtatious. As Kane continues to plot revenge against Victor, Phyllis may offer her support, possibly even involving him in Summer Newman's business ventures. Their chemistry hints at a possible rekindling of their relationship, especially if it provokes Lily. Thursday, April 9th, Lily seeks guidance. Lily turns to Tracy Abbott for advice, possibly regarding Kane, her family, or Malcolm's secret. She's clearly struggling to navigate the fallout from recent events. At the Newman Ranch, Claire and Victoria Newman have a serious conversation, likely centered on Victor's actions and the growing family tension. Claire also begins to see a different side of Holden, which could influence her loyalties. Back at Crimson Lights, Malcolm and Stephanie revisit their past, reminiscing about how Olivia and Drusilla once believed they were perfect for each other. Their heartfelt discussion raises the possibility of a renewed connection. Friday, April 10th, risky moves and dangerous deals. Lily takes matters into her own hands in an effort to help Malcolm, though her actions may carry unexpected consequences. In Las Vegas, Adam Newman takes a major risk. His involvement with Risa Thomas intensifies as they continue to grow closer. Their plan appears tied to Matt Clark, and Adam seems willing to go further than ever if it means protecting his family. When Adam returns, Nick questions how far he's willing to go, hinting that Adam may be prepared to cross serious lines. Meanwhile, Matt pressures Risa to introduce him to a spider, Adam's alter ego. By the end of the week, Matt corners Nick, who is under the influence of dangerous substances supplied by Matt's associates. The situation spirals quickly, setting up a brutal fall for Nick. Elsewhere, Billy Abbott and Sally Spectra begin making long-term plans, possibly discussing a future together that includes major commitments. Patty Williams continues stirring trouble for Jack and Diane, determined to break them apart. At the same time, Nikki and Victor's marriage remains on shaky ground, with tensions escalating. Week of April 13th to 17th. Fallout and high-stakes choices. The following week brings even more emotional turmoil. Lily works to repair her fractured relationships, especially with Devon and Nate Hastings. Although she regrets her actions involving Kane, her priority may be mending ties within her family. Adam faces a difficult decision as his double life becomes more complicated. While he's manipulating Risa to get closer to Matt, Nick's worsening situation may force Adam to embrace his darker side as Spider to protect his loved ones. Malcolm's storyline continues to unfold as Lily remains determined to support him, no matter the cost. Victor and Nikki's marriage crisis deepens as neither is willing to compromise. Meanwhile, Jack continues trying to reconnect with Diane, but she remains resistant, widening the emotional gap between them. Patty remains a constant threat, devising new ways to win Jack back and undermine Diane. Abroad, Tessa and Daniel struggle with unresolved feelings while spending time with Danny Romalotti, adding another layer of emotional complexity. Billy and Sally's relationship grows stronger as they consider taking the next big step together, while Kane and Phyllis grow closer, potentially reigniting an old flame. Final thoughts. These 2 weeks deliver gripping drama across Genoa City. Devon's anger, Nick's dangerous predicament, and Adam's risky choices all set the stage for major consequences. With relationships tested and secrets unraveling, the coming episodes promise plenty of twists that will leave fans eagerly watching what happens next. Next update. Young and the Restless weekly spoilers, April 6th to 10th. Lily rocked by a secret, Holden confides in Claire, Adam takes big risks. The upcoming week in Genoa City brings emotional shocks, risky decisions, and rising tension from April 6th to 10th. Lily Winters is set to face a surprising revelation that could shake her world. As secrets begin to surface, she'll eventually seek guidance from Tracy Abbott while also stepping in to support Malcolm Winters through unfolding family drama. Meanwhile, Holden Novak makes a bold choice when he refuses Kane Ashby's lucrative offer. Kane had hoped Holden would use his connection with Claire Newman to dig up information on Victor Newman, but Holden won't betray Claire's trust. In fact, after turning Kane down, Holden may go a step further by warning Claire about the scheme when they cross paths at Society. Claire has been intrigued by Holden's edgy nature, but this protective side of him might deepen her feelings. Elsewhere, tension continues between Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins Abbott. Jack attempts to repair their relationship, but Diane firmly rejects his efforts. Despite this, Tracy remains hopeful and encourages her brother not to give up, knowing how much Diane once meant to him. The fallout from Mariah Copeland's legal situation also sparks disagreement. Abby Winters feels torn about the outcome, but Devon Winters strongly opposes the plea deal, insisting Mariah should be behind bars. At the GCAC, Phyllis Summers once again stirs things up with Kane. She may be interested in rekindling their romance and even joining forces with him against Victor, but Kane could hesitate after past heartbreaks. A major twist arrives with the return of Malcolm Winters and Dr. Stephanie Simmons, who bring a revelation that could stun the entire town. There's speculation about a long-hidden child, possibly Holden, being connected to them. If true, this would mean Lily is directly impacted, potentially discovering she has a half-brother. Over in Las Vegas, Adam Newman continues to walk a dangerous line. As he gets closer to Risa Thomas, his actions become increasingly risky. Nick Newman begins to question just how far Adam is willing to go, especially as Risa pushes for a more intimate connection. To make matters worse, Matt Clark is preparing for a confrontation with Nick. If Nick is under the influence during this encounter, the situation could spiral out of control quickly. With secrets emerging and danger escalating, Nick finds himself in a particularly vulnerable position, setting the stage for serious trouble ahead. Next update. Abby and Devon struggle as Mariah's fate raises questions. In the April 6th episode preview of The Young and the Restless, tensions rise as Abby continues to grapple with frustration over Mariah's situation. Feeling that justice may not have been fully served, Abby turns to trusted allies for support while trying to make sense of what lies ahead. Scenes unfold at Society, where Abby connects separately with Devon and Daniel. Their conversations revolve around Mariah, who has been placed in a psychiatric facility after agreeing to a plea deal rather than facing prison time. While many see this outcome as a chance for her to receive necessary treatment, Abby and Devon are far less convinced it was the right resolution. Abby uses this time to hear Daniel's perspective, especially given his complicated position. His lingering feelings for Tessa, Mariah's wife, add another layer to the situation. Although Daniel has stepped back to allow Mariah and Tessa to rebuild their relationship, his opinion on whether the plea deal was justified remains significant. Meanwhile, Abby and Devon are left unsettled by how events unfolded. They are particularly troubled that the judge made the final decision without involving them, despite the impact on their son, Dominic. The child continues to struggle emotionally, dealing with nightmares and the lingering effects of the traumatic kidnapping ordeal. As frustration builds, Abby and Devon question whether their voices should have carried more weight in the legal process. Their growing concern isn't just about accountability, it's about protecting their family and ensuring true justice is served. With emotions running high, they now face a difficult question: what steps can they take to find the closure they feel they've been denied? Next update. Phyllis pushes boundaries with Kane in risky new proposal. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint at another charged encounter between Phyllis Summers and Kane Ashby, setting the stage for more friction and temptation between the two. Phyllis has a knack for getting under Kane's skin, especially when the conversation turns to Lily Winters. Now that Phyllis has already confronted Lily following her return to Genoa City, she may bring that clash up again. In doing so, Phyllis could emphasize that she defended Kane, arguing that Lily's elaborate deception crossed a serious line. After all, Kane was left terrified, believing Lily and their twins were genuinely in danger. Learning that Lily willingly participated in Victor Newman's scheme has clearly pushed Kane to cut ties with her for good. Phyllis may encourage that decision, suggesting Kane is better off moving forward. With Lily seemingly out of the picture, she could hint that a new chapter and opportunity has opened up for them. Spoilers for April 8th indicate Phyllis will present an enticing offer, hoping for a favorable response. Her pitch might bring double trouble, especially if she proposes combining business with pleasure once again. Phyllis could even attempt to rekindle their physical connection, reminding Kane that he no longer has to worry about Lily's judgment. Now free from that emotional constraint, Kane can make his own choices, and Phyllis is eager to be part of them. At the same time, Kane's desire for revenge against Victor may give Phyllis another angle to work. Having been manipulated into handing Chancellor back to Victor, Phyllis might be hungry for payback herself. She could argue that when it comes to getting even with Victor, there's no such thing as going too far. Despite previously shaking things up by taking control of the Newman Empire, Phyllis may still crave more chaos, especially if it helps Kane find closure and satisfaction. Their tense meeting at the GCAC bar will highlight both conflict and possibility, as Phyllis pushes to rebuild their alliance. Whether Kane gives in remains uncertain, but one thing is clear: Phyllis won't back down easily. Meanwhile, Kane continues to wrestle with the emotional fallout of Lily's betrayal, leaving his next move hanging in the balance. Next update. Phyllis faces backlash for judging Lily's controversial choices. The Young and the Restless continues to stir up drama as Lily Winters finds herself on the receiving end of harsh criticism, especially from Phyllis Summers. But not everyone agrees that Phyllis is in a position to pass judgment. Lily's involvement in Victor Newman's staged kidnapping plot has turned her into one of Genoa City's most criticized figures. Since the truth came out, she's been dealing with serious fallout. Her professional future is uncertain, particularly when it comes to Chancellor, and her personal life has taken a hit as well. Kane Ashby has made it clear he wants distance, while Devon Hamilton didn't hold back in expressing his anger over his sister's actions. Still, it's not just family members calling Lily out. During the April 2nd episode, Phyllis openly confronted her, unleashing sharp criticism over the scheme. While some viewers enjoyed seeing Phyllis take charge, others quickly pointed out the irony in her stance. Fans online highlighted Phyllis's own questionable past, particularly her decision to fake her death in 2023. Many argued that her actions were at least as damaging, if not worse, than Lily's deception. One viewer noted that putting her children through that kind of emotional trauma made Phyllis's criticism feel especially unfair. Another pointed out that although Phyllis may have had more understandable motives, her behavior was still deeply troubling. Before Lily left town, tensions between her and Phyllis were already escalating. Now that she's back, that rivalry looks ready to explode again. Phyllis currently holds a powerful position in Genoa City, making her a target for several adversaries, including Lily. Lily's ambitions remain tied to reclaiming Chancellor, but her success depends heavily on Victor regaining control of Newman Enterprises. Unfortunately for Lily, Phyllis stands directly in her path. However, Lily isn't known for backing down. Once she sets her sights on a goal, she pursues it relentlessly. There's also the possibility that Kane could become an unexpected ally. After Phyllis interfered with his plans regarding Newman Enterprises, he has his own reasons for wanting payback. If Kane and Lily decide to join forces, they could pose a serious threat to Phyllis's growing influence, and potentially bring her reign at the top to an end. Next update. Malcolm's life-threatening diagnosis rocks Genoa City. Secrets and schemes unfold. The April 7 episode of The Young and the Restless delivered intense drama as Malcolm Winters revealed a devastating health crisis, while hidden agendas and rising tensions continued to shake Genoa City. Aboard Kane Ashby's train, troubling news arrived when an employee presented a bleak financial update. Arabesque had completely collapsed. Refusing to accept defeat, Kane quickly pivoted to a more ruthless mindset, declaring his intention to seize what others had built. His shocking willingness to resort to criminal tactics, including kidnapping for ransom, stunned his employee. When the man hesitated, Kane didn't think twice before firing him on the spot. Meanwhile, at the GCAC, Lily Winters crossed paths with Devon Winters and Nate Hastings but declined their invitation to dine, hinting at a prior commitment. Devon grew concerned that Kane might be involved, but the mood shifted when Malcolm Winters arrived, sparking a warm family reunion. Soon after, Malcolm asked Lily for a private conversation, leading them down to the jazz lounge and leaving Devon and Nate wondering what was going on. Their discussion took a serious turn when Malcolm, after drawing strength from Neil Winters' portrait, revealed he had been diagnosed with aplastic anemia, a life-threatening condition requiring a bone marrow transplant. Lily was deeply moved and determined to help, grateful for the chance to save Malcolm after feeling powerless during Neil's passing. The two agreed to keep the diagnosis quiet for now, choosing not to inform Devon and Nate just yet. Back upstairs, Malcolm also confronted Kane, making it clear he was unwelcome and urging him to stay away from the family. Elsewhere, Phyllis Summers celebrated a business victory in her office, boasting to Lauren Fenmore Baldwin over the phone that they didn't need anyone else involved. Later, at the athletic club, Phyllis briefly caught up with Malcolm before turning her attention to Kane. She taunted him, assuming his presence in Genoa City was fueled by revenge against her, Lily, and Victor Newman. At Crimson Lights, Holden Novak checked a message from his mother, who was running late. Audra Charles soon appeared, reigniting their ongoing conflict over Claire Newman. When Holden hinted he might reveal the truth about their past in Los Angeles, Audra responded with a chilling warning, implying she could make his life miserable if he exposed her secrets. The confrontation escalated when Dr. Stephanie Simmons arrived and demanded to know why Audra was threatening her son. Holden quickly diffused the situation, brushing it off as playful banter. Though Audra extended a polite introduction, Stephanie remained wary. Later, in private, Stephanie admitted she didn't trust Audra and shifted the conversation to the real reason for her visit. Holden initially feared it was related to her health, but she reassured him otherwise. Instead, she revealed she had something significant to share, something that would completely change his life. As she gathered the courage to speak, Stephanie told Holden it was finally time for him to learn the truth about his father, setting the stage for a major revelation in the episodes ahead. Next update. Mariah's isolation could cost her everything as Daniel moves closer to Tessa. On The Young and the Restless, Mariah Copeland's latest legal outcome may have spared her from prison, but it could come at a significant emotional cost, especially when it comes to her relationship with Tessa Porter. During the April 6 episode, Mariah received unexpected relief in her kidnapping case involving Dominic. Despite several serious missteps leading up to the hearing, the judge ruled that she should undergo treatment at a psychiatric hospital instead of serving jail time. While this decision keeps her out of prison, it also places her in another form of isolation, one that could damage her already fragile bond with Tessa and their daughter, Aria. Mariah's pattern of withdrawing during times of crisis has raised concerns before, and this situation is no different. By removing herself from her family in an attempt to heal, she may believe she's protecting them from further pain. However, for Tessa, the distance may feel less like protection and more like abandonment. Meanwhile, Abby Newman Abbott and Devon Winters are struggling to accept the court's decision. Although Mariah's mental health played a role in the ruling, they remain focused on the emotional toll her actions have taken on their son. Dominic has reportedly been dealing with nightmares since the ordeal, and his parents feel justice hasn't truly been served. They may even consider using their influence to push for stricter consequences. Looking ahead, Mariah's biggest challenge may not be legal, it may be proving to Abby and Devon that she has genuinely changed. Facing them and rebuilding trust could be far more difficult than serving time behind bars. At the same time, another complication is quietly developing. Daniel Romalotti Jr., who is still reeling from his breakup with Tessa, could become a growing presence in her life again. With Mariah out of the picture for now, Daniel may find himself stepping into a supportive role that Tessa desperately needs. Mariah's absence creates a void, and Daniel is in a position to fill it. As Tessa continues to spend time with him, especially if their professional lives bring them closer, the emotional connection between them could deepen. What begins as comfort and companionship may gradually evolve into something more complicated. For Mariah and Tessa to truly find their way back to each other, openness will be key. Healing in isolation may seem like the right move, but shutting Tessa out entirely risks pushing her further away. Instead of returning with the expectation of everything being fixed, Mariah may need to let Tessa be part of her recovery journey. Otherwise, by the time she's ready to reconnect, Daniel might already be standing where she once was. For more of the latest updates and behind-the-scenes secrets from Young and the Restless, make sure to hit subscribe and ring that bell. Stay in the know with every new release.